Hello, Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. The views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka, done. I'd like to thank my sponsor, BetterHelp. BetterHelp can't see it with the light, but betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez. They're an online therapy company. They are awesome. So they're international. So if you're anywhere in the world and you cannot get to your therapist in your country, you can go to betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez. They will place you with a licensed professional master's level or PhD level. That also goes for here in the US. They have over 40,000 therapists, really good feedback from people using them. They are affordable. They have packages of like 4 sessions. So really a good deal. So thank you, betterhelp.com/Chris Godinez. Okay, so diving into today's question. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, where to go? Okay. Can you go into how young adults who were alienated children can work through the damage done? What should they expect? What should they expect to feel, and what is totally normal for them to feel? The young adults I know are exploring their feelings and sometimes struggle with all that comes with it. I know their hope is to have a relationship with both parents and still be able to cope with how to set boundaries and stay at a healthy mental state. Okay, so for adult children that have been alienated, it's it's hard. It really is. So there's so many emotions. So it's a grieving process, partially. It's having those, the pink, the rose-colored glasses, the pink glasses, ripped off your face, and you see it for what it is. There's going to be anger. You're going to feel betrayed. You're going to feel abused because, well, parental alienation is abuse. Can I just say that loud enough so all the frickin' senators can hear me? Don't get me started. Anyway, so they're going to feel all of the emotions. Grief is going to be a huge part of it because you're losing the illusion. Again, narcissists are good at selling the illusion of, oh, this is real when it's not. So they're going to be going through grief. They're going to be having the shock, the denial, the anger, all over the place, and acceptance eventually. It's a lot of when you realize that your parent has been lying to you, I think is a huge betrayal. Huge betrayal. And that is really important to get with a good therapist. That's why I went to therapy, because it's like when I realized that neither one of my parents had my back, I was like, oh yeah, no, I need some support here now, So I went and I got a good therapist, and I saw therapists when I was in college to help me through stuff. I saw therapists until my dad took her away when I was in high school. And when I got out on my own, I went back to therapy because it was like, you know what? These jackwagons do a lot of damage. So they're going to have trust issues. They're going to have, what's real, what's not real. That was a big one for me. It was kind of like, is this real? Is this not real? What's real? I don't even know I was totally having an existential crisis. So they may have an existential crisis. They may be like, what's real, what's not real kind of thing. Because, somebody that's been lying to them and saying, oh, I'm the good parent, and then damning the other parent, who is also 50% of those kids. There's going to be self-esteem issues. That's the thing that I don't think a lot of people see, is that if you damn the other parent, you're basically telling that kid that you hate 50% of them. Don't do it. Not a good idea. So, anyway, that's what goes on when a kid wakes up to the parental alienation. Now, can they have a relationship with both parents? Yes, but it won't be a sane relationship. It won't be, how do I explain this? With the parent who is the parental alienator, it is always going to be shields up, phasers on stun. Always, 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 always. If you want to stay safe, that's what you're going to have to do. I don't recommend, frankly, having a relationship with that parent. But if the kid, and realize it goes by what the kid needs. So if an adult child that has been alienated comes to me and says, I do want to still have a relationship, I lay it out for him. It's like, okay, you're going to have your shields up every time you're around the parent that did the alienation. Always. You're going to have to be very careful about what you say. Don't overshare. So remember, narcissists train their targets to overshare. And so anytime that kid goes and is seeing the other parent, the narcissistic parent is going to be like, well, what did you talk about? What did you say? What did you do? Well, you know, that person's real, blah, 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 blah. You know, and it depends on if you want to have to put up with that crap or not. Personally, life's too short. I wouldn't. But if that's what the child wants, then here's the deal. You've got to have boundaries like a boss. Boundaries like a boss. The narcissistic parent is not gonna like it. Seriously, they are going to try to punish you. And you're going to find your inner child going, ah! You know, so that's why it's really important to get with a good trauma therapist, work on that inner child, work on the boundaries, and realize that your relationship with the sane parent is going to be very different than the relationship with the narcissistic parent. You're going to have to be on guard with the narcissistic parent, and you're going to have to be prepared for they're still trying to manipulate, control, gameplay, gaslight, rewrite history, lie, blah, 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 because that's what they do. If their lips are moving, they're lying. So it's really, really, really important to get with a good trauma therapist, and then you start working on the relationship with the parent that was alienated. So you get a good trauma therapist to do reunification with that parent. You do not tell the narcissistic parent what you're doing. It's none ya. It's none ya business. None of your damn business. But they will want to know, because narcissists need to know. Narcissists need to know everything, you know, and they want to be in the know, and they want to know what's being said about them, and they want to blah, 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 blah. So basically, you're going to have to learn that you have the right to privacy. You do not have to share everything with that narcissistic parent. If you're choosing to reunify with the sane parent, then what you do is you contact the sane parent, you let them know, hey, I'm interested in establishing or reestablishing or strengthening our relationship. I recognize that I was alienated from you. I'd like to do therapy, but here's the deal. We need to keep this other parent out of it. I don't want them to know, because if they do, they'll interfere. And it's true, they will. So, really important. That is to be kept completely separate. That's none of that parent's business. You're an adult now. Legally, chronologically, you're an adult. You don't owe them jack diddly squat. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't need to tell them what you're doing or where you're going or who you're talking to or anything else. So it's really important to get your boundaries together. When you talk to the alienated parent, you'd let them know, hey, this mom or dad, whoever the abuser was, is out. They don't know about this. I don't want them to know about this. They'll figure it out eventually. Let them, you know. But what I want to do is I want to work on our relationship. I want to clear up some mistaken thoughts and mistaken beliefs that got handed to me. Would you be interested in going to trauma therapy with me so that we can work on my childhood? And I strongly recommend getting the Inner Child Workbook, either by Catherine Taylor or the Regaining Your Inner Child by Lucia Cappuccioni. I don't know. I always think of cappuccino when I hear that name. I was like, ooh, coffee sounds good. So yeah, that's what you want to do. Every emotion is going to be normal, guys. Every emotion. You're going to feel anger. You're going to feel sad. You're going to feel betrayed. You're going to feel regret. You're going to feel guilt. Get rid of the guilt. Get rid of the guilt. This was not your problem. This was the abuser's problem. The abuser is the one that turned you against the other parent. And you just did what any little kid would do if there's no therapy going on. Okay, do you dig what I'm saying? So, write and burn a letter to the guilt. Dear guilt, no, I refuse. I'm not going to feel guilty for something that my mom or dad did to turn me against my mom or my dad. Do you see where I'm going with that? You put it back onto the abuser. CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving, Pete Walker, necessary. The Disease to Please or by Harriet Breaker, or Facing Codependency by Pia Melody. Yeah. So it's going to be all over the place, and realize that the relationships are going to be very, very different. So the abuser is going to notice when you start putting up boundaries. That's what they do. They notice when their target of abuse starts, nope, and they don't like it, and they'll push. And you just don't be around them. It may come down to that you may not be able to have a relationship with that other parent. Or if you do, it's going to be very strained. And that's okay. And here's the other thing I see abusers do, which really pisses me off, is they hold the inheritance up. Well, if you talk to your mother or father, I will cut you out of the will. You know what my answer to that is? Go ahead. Have fun with that, dude, because you're going to die alone. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Because money's not worth it, guys. In the end, listen to me now and believe me now. In the end of this world, in the end of our lives, when we exit this plane stage left, okay, what's going to matter is not the stuff. It's going to matter how much we loved and how much we were loved and how much we enjoyed each other. That's what's going to matter. So if the narcissistic parent is holding the inheritance over your head, oh, you're going to get this. It's a game. 9 times out of 10, they blow through the inheritance before you can ever see it. Or they lie to you and never wrote you never wrote you in that will. They never wrote you in that will. So do you see where I'm going with that? So you gotta just kind of go, okay, that's a game. It's like, hey, it's your money, dude. That's what you want to do it. That's the thing, is that narcissists make their kids believe that the inheritance is theirs, and it's not, because it's not given to them yet. So yeah, be prepared. There's gonna be blowback when they find out that you're in a healthy relationship with the alienated parent. They may shun you. They may excommunicate you. They may cut you out of the will. They may try to get you, my pretty. They may try to punish you. But really, it's all smoke and mirrors. They have no power unless you give it to them. So just be aware of that. Anyway, I hope that answers the question. Okay, tomorrow on YouTube at noon Pacific and 3 Eastern, I am going to be talking about the communal narcissist and how they really do mind on kids and their partners. We're going to be talking about religiosity. In particular, I'm thinking of this latest case out of Utah where the woman starved her children and beat them all in the name of religion and was convinced that she was saving them somehow. I don't know how that's possible. Anyway, actually, I do know how that's possible. That's why I'm doing the show tomorrow. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about the communal narcissist, religiosity, really the red flags to get the hell out of Dodge, all that sort of good stuff. So, all right, I will talk to you guys tomorrow at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern on communal narcissists. I hope this video helped you guys. All right, I will. And if you have any other questions, just send them to me. Either you can ask in the chat, the little thing underneath, or you can PM me on Facebook at We Need to Talk with Chris Godinez. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.